Good morning, Nigeria. A vibrant new day begins, and we are thrilled to start it with you right here on Dominion Television. And of course, this is Daybreak Live. I am Samson Balogu, and as always, it's an honor to guide you through the stories, conversations, and perspectives shaping this brand new day.
Definitely, and I'm Oluwaimi Adelakun. Thank you for waking up with us. Whether you're gearing up for work, stepping out for school runs, or settling into your morning routine, we're here to bring clarity, depth, and that extra spark that sets your day in motion.
All right, that's right. We begin with a major development from the National Assembly. The Nigerian Senate has officially confirmed General Christopher Musa as the country's new defense minister. This confirmation is more than the headline. It raises critical questions. What direction will Nigeria's defense and security architecture take under General Musa? What fresh strategies might emerge at a time when insecurity continues to stretch across multiple regions? A significant move, a defining moment, and we'll unpack every angle in today's Daybreak Gist with our guest, Temitope Ishola, when he comes on board on the show this morning.
All right, right after that, the Daybreak Gist will take you around the country with a weather update. Then Daybreak News, a swift, smart roundup of the biggest national and global stories you need to know.
And that's true. And for our newspaper review, headlines and analysis, we'll be joined, of course, by Temitope Ishola once again, who will help us unpack what's on the pages of the newspaper this morning and break it down in the front pages and the talking points behind them.
Definitely. And for today's big story, we turn the spotlight to a political storm brewing inside one of Nigeria's biggest parties. Crisis or contest, unpacking the PDP drama over its next governorship candidate. Is the PDP navigating LD internal democracy or battling an unfolding internal crisis? Are we seeing a clash of ambitions, a dignity divide, or simply the politics of secession at play? The stakes are high, and the implications could ripple far beyond party lines.
And that's actually true. To help us make sense of that all this morning, we'll be joined by Ignatius Ofinegwu-Selume, good governance advocate and public affairs analyst, who will be helping us decode the power play, the undercurrent, and what all this means as the governorship race draws closer in Osun State.
Yes. And before we wrap up today's edition, Trend Watch will take you through everything buzzing across social spaces, what Nigerians are posting, debating, and reacting to. It's
Thursday, it is fresh, and the energy is right here on Dominion Television. Stay with us for news that informs, conversations that engage, and perspectives that truly matter.
Right, this is Daybreak Live on Dominion Television, your daily companion for clarity and conversation.
Then let's dive straight into the major headline this morning. Yeah. We'll be talking about the confirmation of General Christopher Musa as the new Minister of Defense in the country. And some have hailed this particular step by the Senate and, of course, the President for nominating him as a giant leap towards achieving what has eluded Nigeria in some parts of the country for some time, which is security. Yeah. It's an attempt to forestall the current spread of banditry in the country and, of course, terrorism. And some have hailed the fact that he's a general who just retired and most definitely is coming on board as a minister. So some of these things will be put at the table. He was glued on the floor of the House yesterday. You have to see what happened on the floor of the House. The senator was saying, let him just take a bow and go. And then someone said, Senator Godswill Akpabio, who is the Senate President, said, no, we have a lot on our plate and Nigerians are asking questions. So let him answer these questions. I think we should see some of the drama that unfolded on the floor of the House and how he was able to meticulously answer some of the questions he was asked on the floor of the House this morning.
Shown the way they did, it's really unfortunate and it's very painful. I want to assure Nigerians that we will not stand by and see terrorists have the capacity to do such. We're going to go after them fully, working together with all the security agencies and all the NDAs that I've said. We're going to investigate fully. So I know the Senate has established a committee to look into that. The armed forces also has a way. And then from the defense, we're going to make sure that we continue with the oversight over their activities. No indolence, no act of cowardice will be entertained. We're going to make sure that we follow them critically to see what they are doing from the commanders down to the troops. They must be professional. I was wondering how the general himself was alone when he's supposed to have his own troops with him. So there are questions that need answering. And I can assure you, sir, we're going to get to the bottom of this. We'll find out what happened, who are those involved, including that one for the children at Maga. It is unfortunate that the troops will be there and then will leave and shortly something happened. It is unacceptable. And I can assure you, sir, we're going to investigate, and all those found culpable will face the law accordingly. And we'll make sure that we monitor all the activities of the armed forces and the security agencies, make sure that they remain very, very professional. Any information that comes will be treated adequately, and make sure that the troops also take action as quickly. That's coming on board, having served 39 years all through my career in the armed forces. We have seen what is going on, we have understood what is going on, and we know what we need. All I'm appealing, sir, is that with your approval, once you come on stream, we're going to come back to you, sir, to show you exactly what we need for us to do better, for us to achieve success. We can win this war, but we must work together. We must get the support. Because I can tell you, not calling members, there's still a lot of gaps within the armed forces that is also mitigating against them be able to achieve success fully into what we're doing. And like I said, we need the state governors, we need everyone to be on board for us to be able to achieve that. So my assurance is, from day one, we're going to monitor and review all our activities, all the operations that we're doing. Where we have done wrong, we're going to take measures to address them. Where things need to be done, we're going to, and then we're going to come back again, sir, because there are areas that we need your support. Everything. So America's budget last year was about $800 and something billion, and they produce the equipment. We don't produce this equipment. For everything we are buying, we buy using hard currency. A medium-range precision missile for a drone, sir, is $100,000. That is about 150 million naira. But once you fire one, 150 million has gone. Whether you hit target or don't hit target. That a ship, the medium-range ship will take up to probably 33,000 liters of fuel, 10 tankers. In 5-6 hours, fuel is finished. So you can imagine that defense is expensive. And that's why it's important for us to see that we can fund. And we can do government to government.
Close sessions with him separately. And some of the questions that will be asked here and the responses may not be well dispensed at this moment. So I feel we should just allow this gentleman to take a bow and go. Not carry. There's not. This is it. There is nothing no here. There is nothing no.
And you stand up and say you should take a bow and go, with so many questions on the mouth of Nigerians, with over 200 Nigerian children in the bush, kidnapped and being tortured. Disappointment is heralded all over Nigeria with happiness, because Nigerians believe he has something to offer. Give the man an opportunity to give Nigerians hope.
All right, welcome back. That was the drama that happened on the floor of the House. The senator was saying, let him take a bow and go. But then at the point, I think I saw a signal from the senator telling General Musa to actually cut it short a little bit, especially when he was explaining in details how much it cost to buy some of these equipment. Yeah. And then he was asked to just make it short and don't go into details, just make your explanation and go. But one thing was clear. He answered some questions that most Nigerians also wanted to ask. And that includes when the general who was actually, who was murdered by the bandits, he was saying, look, at that time, it wasn't even meant to be alone. How did it happen? So some people must answer questions. And this is really one of the things that really needs to be discussed in the country. Defense is expensive. Nigeria don't produce many of these equipment that will be needed by the Nigerian army. So how much is being budgeted for defense in the country on a yearly basis? And then, after it is budgeted, where does these monies go? These are questions that people should really answer. But then in Nigeria, you have to maintain, a little bit of silence, especially when it comes to the issue of security. But then, even if you are being silent, we have to be seeing results. If monies are being spent, taxpayers' money are being spent on security in the country, we should be seeing result. And he also mentioned there was a particular place he mentioned why the Southwest is more secure than other parts of the country as regards which countries we share borders with also matters as regards the current situation. But then, all in all, I think he answered some of the questions that even an average Nigerian would want to ask.
Yes, and I think I'm delighted about this new position that Christopher Musa is going to operate in, because I mean, for someone who's had the position of CDS, that's Chief of Defense Staff, and now the Minister of Defense, and I want to believe that as a Chief of Defense Staff, basically you are the head of the armed forces, the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force, and so you are in charge of giving orders and then operations of the Army generally. But when it comes to the issues of budgeting, resources, that was the duty of the Minister of Defense. Now that he's the Minister of Defense, and then he mentioned 39 years in service, I want to believe that he's going to use some of the things that he's been able to gather over the years, I mean, to ensure that the armed forces receive the resources that they need in due time. He mentioned certain things like the drones costing about 150 million naira, and then even one of the senators mentioned something that I like. He said that Christopher Musa should ensure that he can place the armed forces on the front line charge so that they can get resources directly from the federal government, just like NSCDC, just like UBEC and the others, so that we can be able to tackle some of these states. And I love the fact that, I mean, looking at his his portfolio, a lot of Nigerians even celebrated his appointment online. But I want us to believe that he might have the goodwill to do certain things. He needs the help of people who work closely with him. That's the problem, because he mentioned how that brigadier was killed. Why was it that he was alone at that point in time? So certain questions must be answered. So I think this is not the first time that we'll see maybe someone who used to be a former CDS becoming a Minister of Defense. So it's an opportunity that he has that experience as a CDS and is coming in as the Minister of Defense. So we want to employ him to do the needful, because he's going to face opposition and challenges, and that's the truth. But then I think he has that firmness. Looking at how we talk, there was even a video I watched of him, I think about maybe several months ago, before he was removed from office. That was in October. He said that we need to fence our borders. So people might think it is impossible, but then certain countries were able to do it. Pakistan. He said when Pakistan fenced their borders, that was when that country had peace. The same for Iraq. So it's something we should begin to look at, fencing our borders. Look at those children that were kidnapped. Maybe if something like that had been done, maybe they will not be kidnapped. So certain things must be done, because I think he has the expertise. But then his plans, will it fly? That's another problem that we need to talk about.
Plans are really beautiful on paper. They are beautiful when it is being said, but then when it comes to actualizing these plans and when it comes to bringing it to light, it might just be a little bit difficult. But then there's nothing bad in dreaming big and of course having giant plans to execute. One thing he has to make sure it does quite well is to have the backing of the president, have the backing of the Senate, and most definitely so many stakeholders who are also affected by this situation, because people are going to ask questions. Unfortunately, people don't think about what you are facing behind closed doors. They think about what exactly can you bring to the table for them, especially when it comes to security of lives and properties, which is what is currently missing in some part of the country as it stands. Yes, you rightly mentioned that of course there are going to be challenges, especially from within. Some people who are just they are major beneficiaries of misfortune. When something are wrong, they benefit greatly from it, and you cannot wipe them totally out of the system. They are still in there. They will definitely be in there. I was seeing a video of Ambassador Tuko Buratai. I think that was a day before yesterday, who was talking about. Someone asked him questions about recruitment. Why are you getting to recruit former bandits, ex-bandits into the Nigerian Army? And he said, it's not their job to do these background checks. Once people apply and they are fit to do the job, they are hired. And they said, your local government chairman, your councillors are the ones recommending people, and of course they get to take a particular paper to their local governments to sign. So if you feel like this person was once a bandit, it is your job not to sign these documents, and then when they are not signed, we don't take them. So I think the gap between the community and the Nigerian Army should be bridged when it comes to blowing the whistle, exposing people who are not really meant to be in the Nigerian Army, who are not meant to be in the Nigerian police and the NSCDC and every other paramilitary out there. You see, as long as these people, these former offenders find their way into the system, then we have a potential crisis. But if the community helps also bridge the gap between the Nigerian Army and the community, then there will be a little bit of issue. Maybe from now on, names should be published. If a particular person has been nominated or his or her name has been sent to the Nigerian Army to be recruited into the Army, there should be a publication. All the names, even their pictures, should be there. So if anyone finds a repentant Boko Haram, a repentant bandit on that list, it should be struck out so that we don't continue to bring people who are really not meant to be there into the system. Otherwise, we'll continue to have the same issue. You can imagine a minister trying to do his job, the CDS trying to do his job, Chief of Army Staff also trying to do his job, but unfortunately, they have people in the system who don't want them to succeed. And you cannot wipe that away from the system. You always find them, but we can reduce them to as little as possible.
Yes, and I also think he must, learn from certain things. For instance, he was removed from office, around October, and that was because, he was removed, I think, few days. That was because of a rumor about a coup, and then it was removed alongside some service chiefs, and that was why Olufemi Oluyede became the new CDS, who used to be the Chief of Army Staff when Taoreed Lagbaja passed. So now he needs to learn from certain things, the things that led to that, whether it was a rumor or it was true, he should learn from those things. And then, speaking of his office now, I don't know, I think the biggest thing that he can do for Nigeria at first is to fish out the moles in the armed forces. If he can do that, I want to tell you that he's going to experience bliss, going forward. And then he mentioned certain things. He said, why is it that trials are being delayed? When these kidnappers are caught, when bandits are caught, why is it that their trials are being delayed?
Some of them are even secretly tried. You don't get to hear anything about it.
It's really sad. He also mentioned the fact that we should put an end to negotiating with bandits or paying ransom to bandits. That's the way forward. Those are the things that he mentioned yesterday. And then I think the Senate is also working on passing a death sentence for kidnappers, for bandits is also a good one, because these people, they feel they can just walk their way out of any situation, because of some II ops or some top bodies. So it's sad. If you can work on, stopping the negotiation, paying ransom to bandits, and of course, passing death sentence to kidnappers, I think we experience, much success. And of course, also working on the moves in the military, because I feel like these bandits and kidnappers, they get access to some information that even ordinary persons don't get. And then I think one of the senators, I think Ali Ndume, also mentioned the fact that why is it that these bandits, when they are caught, they are with intense firearms compared to our
because when you pay them,
soldiers.
you have emboldened them against the Nigerian Army. So they have the finance, they have the resources to get sophisticated weapons. So once you pay them, it is as if you are telling them continue to doing what you like doing best, and then we'll be on the defensive mode when you come. That should not happen. So just like he said, there should be an end. It should end now. Whoever is still paying bandits even should be arrested, should be tried, because it is more or less like you are stylishly funding terrorism. So you are also funding them if you pay them ransoms. So we should tackle it from the angle of we have competent personnel, we have the equipment and the gadgets to make sure that even if this happens, then we can get our people out there without paying anybody. But then we should make sure that lives and properties are paramount.
Yes.
Nobody has to lose his or her life because of someone's negligence. And also, in the long run, who is going to bear the brunt of anything that happens? It's the Nigerian people. So the people that should be at the forefront of all of this is the Nigerian people. When you say something, say something. We have seen, there was a particular video I saw yesterday about some people coming from the north. They saw weapons on them, a number of bikes on a truck, and then they were stopped. Where are you going? They cannot explain where they are going. I think it was the Amotekun call at Iwo. So people should always learn to say something. If they had kept quiet, they would have walked their way past Ibadan, maybe to Osun, or probably maybe to Ogun. People should learn to say something when they say something, and of course inform the police or maybe the Amotekun Corps or anyone they can find available that this is nipped in the bud. We are seeing major migration now. Where are they going? That's a very big question. As long as you have things you want to do there, it's not a bad idea. Nigerians have the liberty to cross from one state to the other without being stopped or being challenged, or as long as you have no issue with anybody. But the point is, when you are migrating with no purpose, people should ask you questions, and you have to go back to where you are coming from.
Yes, and I also think that he should use his good office, now that he's privileged to be in that position, for someone who knows the terrain so well. I think his powers now is a combination of both military powers and civilian or political powers. So he should use his good office to fast track, resources. So that, I think resources is one of the big problems that the armed forces are facing, because all these bandits, they have access to resources. As a matter of fact, when they are caught, you see them with, cash, you see them with dollars, sophisticated weapons. But the army, on the other side, some of them they are not paid well. I think one of the senators mentioned that, we need to work towards paying these soldiers well, because for someone to decide to say, I want to be a MO, because these people, they are offering me more than how much I'm getting paid. So we need to work on paying the soldiers well, because I think in Nigeria, Nigerian soldiers are I don't want to rate now, but I don't think they are well paid in West Africa. Let's not even go outside of West Africa. We should work on paying them well, so that these people are not enticed easily, to do things that can affect us as a country. Honestly, I think he should use his good office to facilitate that.
Well, that would be a fine place to leave this particular one this morning.